Today's episode of Dungeon Crawlers Radio is brought to you by Gamers Inn, your one-stop location for all your gaming needs. Located in Lehigh City, Utah, their fun and friendly staff will be more than happy to answer any of your gaming needs. Just remember, Gamers Inn, it's where adventures begin.
It's time to power up.
Autobots, roll out! Broadcasting live from the DCR studio.
Oh yeah!
The Geek Revolution starts here.
Excellent!
Get ready for the #1 hit geek radio show out there.
Well, it is impressive, isn't it?
Because it's time for Dungeon Crawlers Radio.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
All right, everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dungeon Crawlers where, wow, everything that happened off air,
The suspense is...
we don't want to talk about again.
My heart rate is just...
To
too
our
high.
Patreon subscribers, you can hear what happened behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
and we'll be getting that up very soon. However, what I want to say, so last episode we did a review of Ghostbusters.
1994.
We're going to review James Cameron's
Yep.
Avatar next.
Oh.
Just because of our off-air conversation, I think this is a must.
I'm going to review the crap out of that thing.
Yes.
Please don't say that after what you were talking
Yes. There will be dung flinging everywhere. I don't know. Anyway, so this episode we're going to be talking about what happens at the end.
Stop beating your chest.
He's trying to be a baboon.
Heart rate is
I know.
it's under control. I just
Yeah.
get so worked up when I
stop
think about 20 wasted years.
Okay, anyways, let's move forward. We'll get to that. So what do you do? Varen suggested this. What do you do at the end of a book series or the Netflix TV show you've been binging?
You have binged,
You
you've
are
now purged,
excited.
and
There
you're
are
needing more
4,
material.
5, 9 seasons, and you've been ripping through it, and you reach the final episode.
Or they decide to pull your series from
Yeah.
Netflix.
Or they pull
and
your
you
series
don't
and you're
even get to
halfway
finish
through
it. And you're like, ah!
See,
What
for
do
me,
you
it
do?
was Harry Potter. Well,
You
the
didn't get to
books.
finish it?
No, I got to finish the
Oh.
books, but afterwards I was just like, what do I do with
So
my
what
life?
do you-
Netflix pulled Harry
See,
Potter.
and I just watched Sabrina, all 7 series, because Amazon had it.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
I'm like, okay, for starters, the high school years are cringeworthy. College got better, and then I'm
Wow,
like,
my nostalgia says that the high school years were the best years.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about it was cringeworthy in...
Salem's puppeteering.
No, I love Salem. Do not diss Salem. Salem is my spirit animal.
The
Puppeteering.
puppeteering.
Shh, Salem is a real kitty who talks.
Until he talks, and then he looks really not like a kitty.
I don't care. I am living in my delusional life that he's a kitty who talks, and I want
his
him.
tail doesn't move, and he just kind of moves unnaturally.
Okay, the first season Salem was creepy,
Yes.
but after that it
Wasn't
got
there
better.
also a movie?
They should have
There was
hired
Yes,
Bray
there was a
Wyatt.
movie too.
And that in Salem was great.
I'm sorry, I just love Nick Bakay as
It's okay.
Salem. He's
Oh, yeah.
like the
Oh,
best
that
thing
voice is
ever.
amazing.
Fantastic voice.
I love Salem is seriously my spirit animal because that cat just does not give a crap and he judges everybody and everyone and he says what's on his mind and it's fantastic. But I'm like, what am I going to do without Salem's one-liners to get me through the day?
Well, and that's the thing. So, 10 seasons of Smallville. Smallville's gone.
No!
What do you do?
You read the comic series.
Or even...
Firefly, the whole season, and is gone. What do you do?
Yeah,
You
don't-
watched Serenity.
Yeah, but before that movie came out, I have several people that finally, hey, watch Firefly for the first time, and they love it. They're excited, and they reach that last episode, and they're like, "There's more, right?" No, there's a movie.
It's like the world's
See,
cruel staple
But
joke.
there's several years that happened between the end and that movie, and they're
See,
like,
I don't know if I've ever
What?
seen Firefly.
Why have they
I've
still
seen
not come
Serenity,
out with
but I don't know if
anything
I've
new
seen
yet?
Firefly.
I mean, all this old nostalgia stuff they keep bringing back in, for the cash cow or whatnot. Why has Firefly not come back?
because
He was owned
one
by
reason.
Fox.
Well, no,
Well, yeah, we all know.
besides
Fox is
that,
And
stupid
now
piece.
it's
At this
owned by
point-
Disney.
I know.
yeah,
right?
at this point, it's been too long, and two, Joss Whedon doesn't want to touch it. I mean, can he really go back and make that any better? Honestly,
See,
I
Joss
feel like he
Whedon
can.
is a
Make
good
it better?
example
No, but could
of
he
knowing when to
continue it?
stop.
That's the thing. The only way it's continuing right now is in comic book form. Really. To go back and try to do some, I think would be a huge mistake. And the reason for it is like trying to go back and do the prequels for Star Wars.
Nostalgia.
That nostalgia is built so much. People love the characters the way they are. Those actors have changed. They've grown. They're not the same actors.
They're old.
You know, and it's not really the old factor. It's their craft has been changed and improved, and that was what was so fantastic about them at that point. You know, if they were to go back with how old Nathan Fillion looks now, they couldn't put in.
He's
You're
not
right.
that young, charismatic captain at this point.
You're right.
They
He's-
couldn't put
it's-
in Walsh because that would be because
I
we
thought
have
he
the
was
movie.
dead.
You're right, but because the movie and the way
Spoiler.
he looked.
Oh, it's been out for like 10 years.
And longer than that. But you know, because of the way he looked in the movie, and the movie is set like 5 years after, I think, or maybe something around there, they wouldn't be able to do it. Ron Glass isn't alive anymore. So there's, you know, we couldn't have Walsh because he died in the movie. It would have to be set after that. Can they? And then there's
Baldwin
the big
is age too. I mean,
Baldwin is, you know,
Wow, it's been
Jane.
15 years since the TV show.
Yeah. So the real question is, really, can that magic be captured again? More than likely, no.
Like I said, Joss Whedon knows when to quit.
You're right, and that's
Except with Buffy. Because I think Buffy's still continuing in comic series.
well, but that's okay if it's continuing there.
well, I mean, I don't know. Look at the X-Files, like, because you would have expected Mulder to be further along than he is. It was kind of disappointing that he was where he was.
Don't
after
let my
all this
mother
time.
hear you say that.
But honestly, like, I enjoy seeing, you know, Mulder and Scully in the new series. Like,
Yeah.
Are you going
I
to be
like it.
sad when
But-
she leaves? This
Yes,
is
I'll
her
be
last
sad.
season.
So here, but here's the thing: X-Files kind of runs in a different way.
I can't do the whistle.
That show kind of exists in a different realm, I would say. It can come back, and some shows can successfully come back. Not all of them, but again, by doing that, it goes back to our Hollywood show, which is just another grab at the cash cow.
But what
Well,
about
then
Will
that's
and
the thing.
Grace?
Can
Will
they
and
do
Grace
it?
And it-
wiped slate the blah, 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 blah,
and that's
blah.
back.
But they also like
and it's
my
like they didn't miss a step, right?
Yeah.
well, no, yeah, they completely like wipe clean the series, ending like there's no kids anymore. Grace isn't married. Will's not with anybody, and they're back to living with each other.
Yeah, and in my opinion, that kind of ruins.
It does. It ruins it.
Yeah, but
I'm hearing good reviews. I haven't watched it.
you're,
Well,
you're right. It is getting good reviews because those people have good chemistry, but there isn't a movie or something that kind of cemented a time post. So they can. Yes, there was kind of the kids, but they could easily write that off as a dream sequence or
Which
something
they
like
did.
that. Okay, so I haven't watched it. Just as a storyteller, I'm thinking that would be the best option.
Oh, I googled it because I was trying to figure out how they were they were making that work.
Again, a grab because they know it'll sell, they know they can make money off of it, and they know they'll get the viewership.
Well,
Okay, look at Friends.
Okay.
Friends ended on such a beautiful note.
Yep, and they
Like
haven't
each
brought
one
it
of them,
back. Mm-hmm.
exactly. Each one of them went off on their own way. Like it was literally that part of your life. I think we've talked about this on the show. It was that part of their lives where they were trying to figure out who they were, and each
Yeah.
one managed to figure out themselves to a certain point. And then when they left that apartment and left their keys there, like I hated that because I'm like, oh, do you know how much rent control is that apartment is worth? But then it was a beautiful symbolic gesture.
really,
It
that's
literally
what went through your
ended.
head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's this beautiful symbolic gesture
Yes.
that ends the series so beautifully.
Well, thanks,
does.
because I haven't finished Friends yet.
You've only had 20 years.
Yeah, but okay, you're right. And then what did you do? That series was over. They're not making any more. You have to move on, and that's unfortunately that is what life is. You have to move on. You have to.
But
progress.
I don't wanna.
You're right. But your story, your overall story, is you're continuing to grow, and that's where there's a successful movie or not. When we see characters grow, because we relate to that. We can't stay stagnant. We can't stay the same.
Okay,
See?
so off of that, if you were to pick a show for somebody to start watching based off of character growth,
Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Last.
okay,
Yeah.
so
Yes,
okay,
yes,
all right,
yes.
then
The one
honestly,
with
that is
Aang,
that
not
is
the
a
one-
good series.
The Korra
It's
one's
excellent.
iffy.
The
See, and
animated one.
here,
is what
that's
I'm talking
actually
about.
what I was going to talk about next because I wish they had left it. I wish I mean, as much as I love Korra,
Right. Again, it was another attempt to grab money.
but I wish they had kind of just left Aang's journey as Aang's journey.
Yeah. And that would.
But I do love the comics that they were
Yeah, me
continuing
too.
with
I
it,
love-
except what they did with Zuko's mom.
Yeah, well,
I was okay with it. I was happy that we found out.
Okay, I was
mystery
happy that we
revealed.
found out too, but she purposely forgot her kids, and that's just not cool.
It's not cool, but at the same time, I can understand. And now that mystery has been revealed, I actually like that. But that's the thing; it's a comic book, so it's not technically part of the Avatar.
It's not. So
trilogy
in other
book,
words, you can end with the
choose.
season, and then you don't have to watch
Exactly
it.
like Inception. You have the choice to be able to select
Never seen
your own
Inception,
ending.
actually.
just like, Baron's running to deal with something, but just like
Choice
Star
kids.
Wars, we have the choice not to watch the prequels, or to watch the prequels, or not to.
But see,
include
I
Rogue
love
One.
watching the prequels because then I can watch Clone Wars.
It was so much fun. I
Right.
watched the prequels and Clone Wars in chronological order.
Nice.
It was great.
No, it the cartoon series really helps.
It does.
With
It
Clone
it
Wars.
shows so much of
And-
that bridge that we
You're
missed
right,
with
and
Anakin.
It shows a lot
but
more
at
of
the
the
same
growth.
time, to put that entire war into a movie is not possible.
No,
so
it's
making
not.
a TV series was
Perfect. Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad they went with the CGI rather than the live action because I feel like if they did live action, we'd want to see Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor, and all those
You're right,
guys.
you would have wanted them, and it was easier for us to suspend our disbelief and not have the same actors coming in, voicing those. And honestly, I think we got a much better Anakin.
We did.
Because
Matt Lanter.
But even then, that series came to an end, and that was you're just like, I want more.
But here's the thing about that: we can kind of get more if you want to go watch Revenge of the Sith.
You're right. We can. And the season 6 that Netflix put together, it was a letdown in my opinion.
It felt unfinished.
It was definitely unfinished.
Well, it was
It did connect some dots.
I know that.
Yeah, I mean, it did connect some dots for us, so that we had some
I just-
answers with some of the stuff in the movies.
It
but
needed one more season.
it
It needed one more
needed-
full produced
Well,
season.
and they needed to revisit Mortis again because they kind of left Mortis open and they never really went
Now,
back
Mortis,
to it. And
Mortis
they
was the planet with the father
and
two
the daughter
children.
and the son, yeah. Because they kind of alluded to it in season 6 a little bit with like the fight, but then they just kind of never
There's
talked
so
about it
many
again.
things they didn't wrap up.
And like also the one of the actual Lost episodes that was only like a cinematic. Have you guys seen that
Yeah.
where they actually find
That's the one I'm
Death
talking
Star
about.
crystal?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Like that adds so much to the Star Wars.
Not only
like,
that, there's
mythos.
the whole episode where Boba Fett faces down Cad Bane
Oh my gosh!
that they never put in.
Yeah.
There was
Beautiful.
also a planned episode to show Revan that never got put in.
Really, I
Yeah.
didn't know about that one.
Yeah.
There's a lot out there that
See,
they
and that
never
one
got to
deserved
do.
one more season.
Yeah, and that's
just to wrap
something that
things
Dave
up.
See,
Filoni
and here's the
brought up.
thing is that kind of going back to revisiting shows, I honestly think they could come out with another Clone Wars season
They
and
could.
people would accept
Well,
it.
see, and
Yeah. Well,
they-
because that's still going. It's
Yeah.
not like it's stopped. We're still going with Rebels.
Right.
We still have TV shows following
Yeah.
the same
and
timeline
the other thing
universe.
is that animation is a much more forgiving art form than
and not only
TV
that,
series
so-
or than live action.
So, and the other thing, we could go back to that, and it would work because we were only following Anakin and Obi-Wan and Ahsoka. We could go off of Mace Windu, off of Yoda, after so many other
Qui-Gon.
Jedi.
We could go back even before if
Yeah.
we needed to,
See,
and we
I would
did
love
it
to
in
see
some
that.
flashbacks.
Well, see, and this is the thing. There's
They got
the
Liam
Star
Neeson for
Wars,
that. Did you
the
know
Star
that?
Wars
Really?
universe.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
We can go back to the Star Wars universe easily because it's a massive universe. Could we go back to Firefly? We could, as long as it didn't follow the original crew.
But that'd be so hard.
That would be hard because we're so
And we'd want
in
to
love with
see
those.
them.
We'd want to see, but we could still go back, and then they could throw in cameos.
But now we're talking about Fuller House.
You're right. Again, it's
Yeah.
Fuller House. It's
Again,
the cash
it's a
cow.
reunion show
but
at
that
that
is
point.
the way that's the only way I could conceivably see that would work. But
But
Yeah.
I also think like when it comes to bringing like comics, like going back to Avatar and Buffy, they're continuing to live on in comic form, and it's like you see all these wonderful stories, but it's like even with the comics, like I know the Avatars, they're only like three. They're like 3 books of per arc, and sometimes I feel like they're too. What's the word? Condensed. Like they're a little bit too condensed, whereas like one of those 3 books would have been like an entire season. So sometimes it feels like they're
well,
condensing.
understand
it's the difference in the art
Yeah.
form. It's easier to do a season show, a series of shows, than it is to get one of those trade
See,
paperbacks.
and now we're talking about more of the expanded universes going with like the comics. Ghostbusters is doing the same thing. They actually released a comic book where they linked Ghostbusters 2016 to the Ghostbusters 1984 crew, and it was very well done, very well written, and their characterizations actually make sense.
Well-
and that to me as a Ghostbuster fan, like that touches my heart because it's very well written, and it's a way that I can expand my love of the universe, like by experiencing it. But at the same time, it's not vital necessity for someone like Dan who says, oh yeah, I like watching the 84 movie. That's fine. Like that's where my universe begins and ends.
But this is where George Lucas was a genius, in my opinion. He knew he couldn't make all these films, so he went to a different alternate format,
another medium.
that he could get those stories out to us. And that's where Avatar lives on. That's where Ghostbusters live on.
That's where
how
Firefly
lives on. That's where Star Trek lives on, and so on and so forth.
I think Sabrina lives on there too.
Yeah,
Sabrina, really?
Sabrina,
Yeah.
They have
that's
they have
awesome.
a comic book.
They had a animated series too for a minute.
And that's how these things can continue on. However,
But if you want to watch a show, honestly, there's a lot of. I like watching shows.
Yeah.
I haven't read comic books since I was in high school.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm not going
it
to
takes
turn to the
more work.
comic books
Right.
to get a little more Firefly or
Yeah.
to get a little more Sabrina.
See, and that's the other
So-
thing.
But finding out a new show like Avatar, it's got a good character development in there. If you like good strong character development, check out Avatar.
Good humor.
And the
would
nice
be
thing
yours?
about it is that it's short. The episodes are only a half hour, but
right.
kind of
But,
going
you know-
back to like the 9 seasons of stuff.
Yeah, but
They're
it
an
still
hour
has quite a
long.
bit.
Okay, well here I think I see where you're going with. So
where do you go after it's over?
Well, here's my idea. Just to kind of bridge that idea or that thought. So we've kind of answered the what do you do afterwards, because there is so much more fandom out there that each one of us have that beloved moment, that beloved show, that beloved series. But what do you do afterwards? There's so much more belovedness out there that you can still experience. And so
It's
I
like,
think that's
do
what
you
you're trying
move-
to say.
Yeah.
Where
So-
do you move on
So
to?
where would you
Like,
point
do you
somebody
move
to
on
move
completely,
Yeah.
or do you go
What
on to a
direction?
new fandom?
Well, okay.
Well, I would say, well, if you're watching,
in
if
his
you're
case,
if
he
you
doesn't
need
go
to
to the
fill
books.
your
He doesn't go to comic books.
you need to fulfill your sitting down in front of a TV moment.
Yeah.
Experiencing
Your
there's
series
something
is
on
gone.
the TV.
So yes, if
in
you
the new-
need more of that particular show, yes, there's other avenues you can turn to. But when you're sitting down in front of your TV again, and you got your significant other or your friend or roommate or whoever's next to you,
What show do you need to
what
watch?
show are you going to next?
Well,
Where are you going to point
so
your
this
friend
is-
to, and
this
he
is
says,
normally-
"I'm done with my series. What do I watch
This is
now?"
what I normally would do. Okay, if I've reached the end of my series, then I listen to what my friends are talking about.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Who are you going? Where are you going to point your friend to right now?
So
Dan?
what?
Say I'm your friend.
Okay, so
Well, I am your friend.
Hypothetically
So,
speaking.
before I
The
answer
truth
that,
comes out, we're
what
not
type
friends.
Of shows do you particularly like?
Okay, well, I don't know. Right now, I figured we're kind of going off of
Good
more
story.
of
So
a
do you like
sci-fi
story.
geek
okay? So do you
fandom
like
stuff.
something that has a good story that has
Good character development.
good character development? Do you like guns in there?
I'm a dude, so yes.
Do you like?
I like guns.
Do you like?
I don't
seeing,
see how any of
Do you
these
like
questions
seeing
are
death?
stereotypically-
Do you like seeing death?
Stereotypically, yes, I do.
Okay, so Hell on Wheels would be my suggestion for you.
Okay, I've actually heard of this one and
So-
even watched a little bit
Yeah.
of the first season.
So Hell on Wheels, based
kind of
on
a Wild
So
Western.
it's kind of a Western. It's based around the time period of when the Continental Railroad's being made. You have an old Confederate soldier that's hunting. I mean, the first episode, he's hunting down the killers that murdered his wife. He comes back from the war. His wife has been murdered. His family's dead, and he's just
That sounds
looking for
depressing.
retribution. And then he ends up getting on the Transcontinental Railroad. Now, the last season kind of fell apart a little bit, but it was amazing. You see this character constantly becoming something better than a vengeful guy. It's awesome the way he's vengeful. I mean, he literally shoots a guy in the church. I mean, the guy is
almost Punisher style.
yeah,
huh?
he's confessing his sins, and he's like on the side that the priest is, and just boom, and then walks away.
I'm gonna be such a girl in a minute.
Judgment from on high,
you
I
know,
guess.
but,
Right?
but at the same time, that was the time period, and they captured it so well. And it was so beautifully written. The dialogue's amazing. Character development is great. And it's a good series. But it does end. And when I reached the end of that, I was just like, oh, now where?
Well-
But there's 5 seasons of that.
Well, there we go. All right, now we're
My
at the end of
dorky
Hell
butt
on
just
Wheels.
watched Pride and Prejudice. BBC version, so the 6-hour one. So I went back to Amazon and I looked up Pride and Prejudice sequels. Because I'm that one.
So she's gonna say Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and
I would
Prejudice.
suggest, since I know the type of guy you are, it's not gonna work.
No, I'm not
but-
suggesting
He
Pride and
suggested
Prejudice.
Avatar first.
But
I'm just saying,
which-
I just finished watching Pride and Prejudice,
but
and I need
Pride
something to
and
watch at work.
Prejudice and zombies might be more your thing.
You should watch it, actually. It's the best bad movie out there.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's so good.
I
Now,
want
is that a B rated for budget or?
No, they actually had a
It's
pretty
ca-
decent
Oh, they
budget.
did it on purpose.
Yeah, they did it on purpose,
So
and that's
it's
part
kind
of
of
it.
like Sharknado.
No, it's based
No,
on a
it's-
book. that
It's
was
based
written.
on the
Oh,
book.
really?
It's like the I have the graphic
According
novel
to
and the
my-
book.
According to my wife, she says it matches, like, as far as, incorporating
Yeah.
zombies, but it follows the actual book. I'm like, I understand Pride and
No,
Prejudice.
I am sorry. There is a freaking ball joke in Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, and it's the best thing ever.
But
Alright,
because
I'll
of
have to check
what
that out
you're
then.
like, you
Yeah.
would enjoy that show.
Okay.
But anyone that's, most people that are like solid Pride and Prejudice fans are just like, oh, this was crap. But if you go in
You
with
can't
the guy
expect.
mentality, you're gonna be. Dude,
The thing
this
is that you
not-
can't expect
I can
anything
now-
more than to
I
be
can
entertained.
Now love and respect Pride and Prejudice because this movie is pretty awesome. It related to my mentality.
All right.
No,
Okay.
seriously, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I will bring you a copy if you need me to.
Like I'm kind of excited to watch it now, to be honest.
It's
And I think my wife might be too. Maybe.
okay.
I don't know.
So
Hopefully.
funny story. That was actually my Valentine's Day with my best friend. We went and saw Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I'm like, yay, we get to spend Valentine's Day with Mr. Darcy.
Nice.
But
Slaying zombies.
see, here's my
It gives
thing
the
though.
half that your wife would like and the half that you would like. It's like the perfect gift. Bink.
But here's
There
the
you
thing,
go.
I just finished that, and now I need something to have in the background at work. So what would you guys suggest for me?
Ooh, under that,
I'm-
I would say Friends. I would
I've
say
seen Friends, and I don't
Oh.
like it.
Psych.
Psych,
Psych
might
is
be
a
good.
great show.
I've
Psych is a
seen
great one.
I've seen Psych like throughout the years, but I've never seen like I've never sat down and, like actually watched it.
Great humor.
Seinfeld might be a nice one to have playing in the
Oh,
background.
what's that one?
I think she's too young for Seinfeld.
I am too young for Seinfeld.
There's a lot of references in there just because of she didn't catch them in Ghostbusters. I think she'd miss those.
That's probably true.
But Psych
went over
is
my
more
head.
is definitely more modern. There
That's
would be the
true.
references she'd catch on to. It is funny.
it does kind of dip down there at the end.
It does dip towards the end. Comes up a little bit.
Although
Isn't
you
that
could say
on
that about a
Amazon?
lot.
It is on Amazon Prime. All of them. They pulled it off of Netflix. It's on Amazon Prime.
See, because
I can
that's
say that because I'm rewatching them.
see, because that's the thing is that I mean I know I said the same thing that I did Turtles, and I watched it while I was at work. But the thing is that I can still appreciate it and watch it at and
Well,
and still
and the
work.
nice thing
30
about
Rock
Psych,
might be a good one, or
30
that
Rock's a good
70s
one, yeah.
show might be kind of fun.
Okay, here's one I know most people I don't think of. Well, at least people I've talked to haven't seen. Crazy Head. It's a Netflix
Netflix
original, and
Yeah.
it's a supernatural. Like it starts out, this girl finds out that she can see monsters and demons and stuff that she didn't realize she could see before, and then she runs into another girl who can also see them, and they're like that's like their special ability. But that's all that they know. They don't know anything else. And then one girl gets, at the very beginning, her friend gets possessed, and so they do this ritual, and it's absolutely hilarious.
So you're digging that then.
I
So
watched.
if you're digging that,
I watched
Grimm
the whole
is
season.
another one.
I love Grimm.
Grimm would be a good one.
Yeah,
Grimm
and-
is really good, and it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's
all
only
right.
like, what, 5 seasons?
6, 5.5.
But yeah, Crazy Head's
'Cause the sixth
definitely
season's really
one
short.
worth watching.
Yeah, so that's so
I will
Grimm
check
would be
that
another
one
one.
And it's got a good character development in it. I feel like the characters grow throughout it. I mean, they start out, they're not very
Do you
trusting,
have Amazon
obviously.
Prime?
I do have Amazon Prime.
Avatar's on there, or at least the last I checked, it was.
Yeah,
all
both
right.
of them are.
You don't have to watch
Aang
Korra.
and Korra.
Is My Name is Earl? That's the one where he has to make the list, right?
Yes.
That was hilarious.
That was a
Can't
Until the
remember
last
that one, yeah.
season, that went
Yeah.
downhill fast.
It really
Okay,
did.
that one is kind of that one's definitely one you can have running in
Yeah,
the background.
that's a background kind of
it's
show.
definitely not one. that
See,
you
but
want.
I'm not a huge comedy person, actually.
Crazy Head's not one for the background. That's one you want to pay
No,
attention
that one
to.
you have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Castle. You have to pay attention to
Yeah.
all the details.
I love Castle.
That-
Although I
the
missed the
last
last like
season.
2 seasons, 2 or 3.
Seven's where
Well,
when
that's where they kind
eight
of
was-
pushed. Like they were planning on wrapping it up at a
Well,
certain point, and then they pushed
And
for more
this
episodes.
is gonna sound
season
terrible. I
just
kind of
ended
SG1.
because they fired people.
well, and you can kind of pick up that the chemistry between the characters changed a little bit, and
Oh, yeah.
not in a good
It-
way.
It was getting yeah.
Stargate SG-1. That was another good one that would be fun to watch in the
See,
background.
and I've watched. How do
All
I? I've
season
wanted.
one
Atlantis
through 8,
was good.
all of them.
I enjoyed Atlantis. I didn't really enjoy SG-1.
I need to watch that. Really?
Stargate Universe was okay. It was
Aren't they
super-
coming out with
like
a new
more of the,
series on its own platform?
Hmm?
Stargate? Aren't they coming out with a new series on its own
It's
platform?
just it's a mini series. It's like a prequel, so it feels very Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider-ish, like actually
So it's
finding
back
the
when they're in
Stargate.
Egypt.
Yeah.
That sounds
that
so
could be-
good.
that
In
could
fact,
be
we
good,
just
but we'll
we
see.
just shared their trailer. It just barely came out. It looks a little B-movie, but I'm still suspending my disbelief. I hope that it's going to be amazing because it has a great premise, like Indiana Jones finding the Stargate. That's just awesome.
Cool.
That does sound real. Because, no, I remember. Okay, so, funny story about Stargate. I saw it in the theaters, and I'm not even joking. I remember watching it in the theaters when I was 5 years old.
So did I.
And my
I
mom.
wasn't
no.
5 though.
My mom's like, I should not have taken you to that movie, but I love Stargate. Like, Stargate is one of those nostalgia movies for me. I love it. I will watch it.
James Spader, Kurt Russell. You can't go wrong.
My mom
yeah,
loves Kurt
great
Russell,
cast.
so that's why we went to see it. But that's one of those movies where I didn't know growing up that there was a TV series or anything like that.
I mean-
and I want to watch it, but it's like by the time I found it out, let's be honest, until the last like decade, it was really hard to watch old
No,
TV
so-
series.
That series
here's
used to
the
run
problem.
around the same time as The Outer Limits was
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
same time.
So,
same time that afternoon.
Stargate, this is the reason SG1 was so difficult for me, is, yes, Andrew Jackson seemed almost the same. But Kurt Russell's character and Richard Dean Anderson's character...
Isn't that MacGyver?
Yeah.
That Richard Dean Anderson is MacGyver. Their characters were vastly different.
They were.
And that's what pulled me out of that series. Is because Kurt Russell's character was a strong military commander, and then Richard Dean Anderson's character was kind of this bumbling idiot in some ways. Yes, he was still a military commander, but
Kind of comic relief at that point.
yeah, he seemed more comic relief than the
He was more
strong
MacGyver.
character. Yeah, than the
Interesting.
strong character, because it's like,
But see,
okay,
I
dumb it
related
down.
with that.
Um,
I related with that because I saw the series before I saw the movie.
yeah. So and for you that worked because you saw the
Kind of makes
the
me wonder what
opposite.
my take on the series would be, since I love the movie so much growing up.
Yeah, you're probably
You
not.
almost have to accept that he's a different person.
I'm okay with
It's
that.
like it's a different reality.
Yeah.
I'm okay
They're
with that.
so different.
But they go
But
so much
I
more
think
into
one of
depth.
the reasons
They
why
do.
I love
They do.
Stargate so much is I love Indiana Jones and I love archaeology.
I think you would actually really like the first 8 seasons of SG-1. Do not go on to season 9 and season 10.
Yeah, that's where
The writers wrapped it up beautifully, and then all of a sudden the studio
the
said,
cash
we want to
cow
make
came
more.
in.
Interesting.
And so it's not bad, but my wife is so happy with SG-1, and I can't because I still have those last 2.
See, and I loved like the archaeology. I loved like
And-
that aspect of Stargate.
You would like the SG-1, I think. Other than the fact that it's a little
right.
outdated at this point.
So we've given you several.
It's not that I
suggestions.
don't mind outdatedness. It's just I had a hard time with Ghostbusters, and I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Give it a try.
We'll
It's
dig up
enjoyable.
some other hidden gems.
Oh, hell's
I
Lucy,
have-
I'm home.
Well, I think that gives
I am not Lucy.
quite a few shows for everybody to go check out if they
You're gonna
need
have fun
something to go
torturing
check
me,
out.
aren't you?
Army of Darkness. Oh yeah, that's on the list.
I don't know what that means.
I
Bruce
actually,
Campbell?
I'll be joining you
Oh.
because I have not seen any of those. The
Can we
Army
just
of
have a
Darkness
viewing
movies.
party?
We will skip Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. Just go straight to
Yeah,
Army
you
of
don't need
Darkness.
the yeah.
Really?
You don't need it.
But
They're-
they came first.
You're right, but
They
you don't
did,
need them.
but
Okay, so here's the thing.
I have Army of Darkness. We'll have to watch that.
I have all of them. I even have Army of Darkness on my iPad because it was on sale on iTunes, and
it's
I grabbed
just.
it.
I have Pride and
It's
Prejudice and
fantastic.
Zombies actually
Here's
on my
the
phone.
thing that bugged me. I mean, even the Evil Dead series did the same thing. It seems like every movie, they just forgot about the first movie, rehashed it, told you a storyline that was very similar, and then they're going for it. So and that's kind of what it
Interesting.
felt, and they did that on purpose. They did, which is fantastic. You don't need to watch the other 2 movies to understand what's going on in Army of Darkness.
Really?
So is Army of Darkness the good one?
It's the only one that actually made it to the big screen. The other 2 were made right after college and independent. Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah, Army of Darkness was the first one that went on the big screen. Then they kind of brought the other ones back.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I remember watching Army of Darkness in the theater, and I just fell in love with it. Bruce Campbell does a fantastic job. There's so many beautiful
Well, he's got a TV
one-liners.
series that's actually going on right now.
Well, yeah, the
that
Evil Dead
continues
TV
that
series.
story.
No, it doesn't though.
It's not.
So the Evil Dead TV series goes on as if Army of Darkness never happened, because they don't have the rights, and so it's like going on right after
See,
Evil Dead happened.
Speaking of Hollywood, I hate the whole right thing.
It's okay, but even then, it still feels just like the movies because they kind of ignore that movie that happened, and so it felt perfect. And again, he jumped right into that character, so it's fantastic. But I'm building a list. So,
I'm building a
but
list.
I feel like I'm gonna get tortured.
we've got several suggestions. Give us your suggestions. What movies would you like us to review?
I love how we managed to get Pride and Prejudice into a podcast.
That we can throw
Mackenzie, if you want,
through.
we can actually have you be the expert on that one and have us three watch.
Yeah, we could do it. We could do.
Oh my gosh, I would die
There
if
we
I
go.
found out you guys were watching Pride and Prejudice.
I've seen it multiple times.
And
Which one?
zombies.
I've seen the BBC one.
Wait, are we talking in zombies or regular Pride
I've
and
seen the
Prejudice?
zombie one.
Any of it.
Zombies.
I've seen the original one with Hugh. I've seen the one with Hugh Grant in it.
Hugh Grant was never in Pride and Prejudice. He was in Sense and Sensibility. Get
Okay.
your Austin
Okay.
right.
No, wait a minute.
Oh,
Colin
damn.
Firth.
Mortal
There we
Sin.
go.
Sorry, Colin Firth was that one, and then yes.
I
Hugh
have
Grant, the
many
other one.
facets to my character's boy.
So
to
yes,
my character boy.
I've seen those. Yes, and they're on Amazon Prime. So give us your ideas, your suggestions, and then we will do it where we flip and you pick the movie, and then we go through it, and then we give our reviews.
Awesome. Sounds good to me.
Hopefully DuckTales is
All right.
in there somewhere.
Woo!
Old one or new one? Because I'm not liking the new one.
Both.
All right. So with that said, hopefully we've given you some suggestions as what to do. We didn't really talk about books, but there are plenty out there.
That's true. The Harry Potter. I was like left so alone.
Harry
I found
Potter.
other stuff.
There's the Bulgarian.
Technically, we can
Wheel
read.
of Time.
Time. You can read the first three, skip to the last three. That's my opinion.
Are those the ones that are
Percy
the last three
Jackson.
written by
Percy
Brandon
Jackson.
Sanderson?
The last three. Yeah.
Any Brandon Sanderson.
Any Brandon Sanderson.
I don't think
Ari
I've ever read his
Salvatore.
stuff.
I heard a really cool one
that's
called
the
The
thing.
Shadow Above the Flames. It's really amazing.
I wonder who
You
wrote
watch
that. So there's a lot of really good books out there. There's a lot of great material, movies or
I
TV
need
series. So.
suggestions of books to listen to.
Okay, we'll give those to you. So
Maybe
that'll be another podcast.
There we go, another
With that
episode.
said, we're out of here. We got to go. And the next time you'll hear from us is we'll be talking to the wonderful people at Wizarding Days and talking about Harry Potter and stuff. Expelioso.
Bye-bye!
Avada Kedavra.
Okay, I think we're gonna need to make a different ending because I think isn't Wizarding Days coming up really quick, so aren't we gonna have to release that one
Or we just cut that part
first? Okay, can we have an ending real quick, just in case we need to cut that off? Because we didn't really end it before that. Okay. So yeah, I guess we'll talk about books another time.
We will. We'll talk. That'll be another podcast.
I feel
And
like we could probably talk the whole hour about Harry Potter.
that could almost be 2 separate hours of books.
We should probably talk about where to go after Harry Potter because
See, and here's the thing. This is going to sound really, really weird. Harry Potter to me doesn't feel like it's ended, and that's just because the movies didn't end with the books.
that's true,
So,
and there's still more coming on.
And there's still more coming
there's
out,
the prequel with
so,
the Fantastic Beasts.
I'm okay not reading it.
I
And
actually
here
like the last
for the
movie better than the
record,
last book.
I was the crazy fangirl who sat in line for
But hey,
how many hours.
I do now have 2 wands.
Good for you.
I only have
I
one.
have Snape's and Sirius Black.
I have my
I have
own
Lupin's.
wand because I'm that girl.
Yeah, well, good for you.
I want
You
my
can
own
have
one.
your own.
I do have my own one. It's the
I
Mackenzie
will
wand.
send my ginger cat after you because that's my Patronus.
Oh yeah, I'm a mouse.
Yep.
Well, with
Why
that
do I have
said,
such a lame Patronus?
Go Hufflepuff! We're out of here.
I'm a Ravenclaw.
Gryffindor.
Wait, we never stopped?
You're listening to Dungeon Crawlers Radio. Please subscribe and follow them on Facebook or Twitter, precious. No, we're even promoting these filthy idiots. Who doesn't like them? Who doesn't like anyone? No, they're our friends, precious, our friends. No, shut up. Please subscribe.